All right, ghouls and ghoulettes. It's the first part of October, and it's getting creepy at Frightmare HQ.
Spooky, Loyd. We're so spooky. What are we gonna do? I'm scared.
I don't know. It's gonna be spooky though. I gotta fix your thing.
Where am I?
Oh, you're there, but I'm there with you. It's like we're together. It's like, we're not always together.
Two hearts that beat as one.
Hide self-view. There it is, Charlie. You're all alone now in your own little box.
I am ready, and I hope you guys are ready because we've ran into this issue where 1990 had 198 movies. So me and Loyd are going to be here till 1, maybe 1:30 in the morning. But it's all right because I got beer, Kit Kats, and a pea jar. So I'm ready to go.
But it is pretty exciting. We're starting a brand new decade tonight. 1990, folks. 1990. And Charles is right. There are several movies on this list. And turns out 1990 started off the year with a bang. Right?
It started off with a bang, and you could call it an explosion because it pretty much died after 1990. So.
Exactly.
I can tell you guys, while we have a quite long list for 1990, I'm struggling a little bit with 91 through 95 because I told Loyd, well, we could probably do all 4 years in like one show and be like, all right.
Yeah.
There we go. But no, we're not. We will rejoice and we will do a show for every year, even if they're not that good of movies.
Perfect.
I don't care.
Mr. 80s 1224 is here. He says, "Hi guys, I'm a fan of your show. What is up, man?
What's up? Thank you so much."
Yeah, we got Lurks with us. We got Me You Fools.
Yeah.
We got Scooby D. Boy, we got a lot of people.
Scooby D.
Vanessa.
Vanessa's
Allie,
here.
Travis.
What's up, Vanessa?
Eduardo.
What's up, Allie and Travis? Eduardo.
David Dugas, Chrissy Gilliland, Tyler Burrows, JRE, Bob White. Oh my goodness. The list goes on and on and on. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks you. And looks like Eduardo got my copy of Battlefield Earth. You're welcome, Eduardo. Enjoy that.
Boom. Neal McElhaney and Jeanette Nolan are also here. So let's go ahead and jump into it, Charles, since we've got so much to do tonight and so much
guys,
to cover.
We're probably going to roll a little bit quick with some of these, but some of it's going to be okay. Let's do it, though, Loyd.
All right. First on the list, driving through Texas, a young couple gets lost and soon finds themselves pursued by a chainsaw-toting maniac. Came out January 12th, 1990. The American slasher film Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, directed by this year's guest, Jeff Burr. Or 2020's guest. I don't even, 2020, 2021, I don't know what
2021, Loyd. 2021.
So, not my favorite chainsaw movie, but definitely not the worst chainsaw movie, as we would find out many years later.
It's not the worst chainsaw movie. Now, some people like this one a lot more because some fans were not a big hootenanny over all the comedy they put in the second one. That's kind of grown on people a lot more. But I know at first some people didn't like a lot of the comedy from the second one. I like this one. But Jeff Burr worked on a lot of horror sequels. I mean, he did this, Stepfather 2, Puppet Master 4. So kind of interesting guy, kind of knows his sequels a little bit,
Mm-hmm. This movie was filmed in California, not in Texas, unfortunately.
not in Texas.
When I first saw this movie at the theater many, many years ago, I did not like it. But it has grown on me over the years. You've got Ken Foree in it, and you've got Malcolm, what's his name? Oh, my goodness. Why am I... Malcolm.
Malcolm? You're talking about William Butler?
No. My goodness. He's a huge actor now. The Lincoln guy.
Who are you talking about? Viggo Mortensen, right?
No. Matthew McConaughey. My
Matthew
goodness.
McConaughey wasn't in this one.
3? Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
he was
you're
in
right.
Next
That's
Generation.
4. I'm thinking of 4. You're right. Hey,
Are
but
you
this
drunk?
is I am drunk, but this is a good movie. No, I'm actually just drinking water. But no, this is a good movie. I actually like it. Over the years, I have grown to love
Yeah.
that movie.
We should let's go ahead and roll the trailer for this because the trailer is hilarious because they actually made the trailer before they did anything with the movie. Like the trailer was done at first to get people excited before they even made this movie or knew what they were doing with the movie. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
trailer's just confusing and weird.
It is. All right, let's do it.
Some tales are told, then soon forgotten. But a legend is forever. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Now, from the producers of A Nightmare on Elm Street, the real terror begins November 3rd.
I was so bummed that we didn't get to see the lady in the lake.
That trailer, I want to see that movie. I want that movie. I want that that Excalibur Leatherface crossover movie. Like I want that in my life so bad.
So, like, Leatherface is part of the Knights of the Round Table.
Yes. You know what? And I need Willow in this movie too. All right, Willow has to be in this movie, and I'm gonna make this movie. It's gonna be the greatest movie ever made. All right.
I did want to point out that at the next show when we do the TCM 3, we've got a replica Saw's family Excalibur chainsaw being made right now. It's probably finished, but I haven't really been keeping up with its progress since we've had to put the show off a couple of times. But that's going to be a cool photo op.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're going to be he's going to be in full Leatherface gear with an Excalibur. So that's going to be cool.
I want to like to see how that progress is going. I know they were working on it, but of course, you know, the delays and everything. But,
right.
Yeah, I mean, Leatherface, you guys, if that trailer didn't catch you, then something's wrong with you because that is amazing. It really is.
It really is kind of amazing because at that time everybody was familiar with the Excalibur trailer, which is basically the same kind of a thing. So it was pretty cool back then. I mean, it made us all want to see the movie, and then when we did, we were so disappointed.
You know, this movie, Leatherface did struggle to get its release. It struggled to not get an X rating. It was this one was actually the last real movie that got an X rating first before they introduced the NC-17 rating, because the first NC-17 movie was Henry and June. They had to cut like 8 or 9 times. They had to send a cut version back before they finally got their R rating, you know?
Yeah. Well,
that probably didn't help it very much.
I knew there were a lot of scenes cut from this movie, but there is an uncut version out now, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There is.
And I watched it. I watched it recently, around the time that I rebooked, or that I booked actually those guests originally for the Chainsaw 3 reunion, and I went back and watched it, and you know, it's not a bad movie. It's definitely better than I remember it being.
Yeah. You know, the guy who wrote that one was David Show, and David mostly. Well, he really got recognized after '94 because he wrote The Crow, and that really made him quite big after that. But he didn't really do much. I know he did the 2006 one, TCM the Beginning. He wrote that too. That's something for another time, though. But So yeah, we could probably jump across.
Let's go to the next one, Charlie.
Man, natives of a small, isolated town defend themselves against strange underground creatures, which are killing them one by one. This was released January 19th, 1990. It's the American horror comedy film Tremors, directed by Ron Underwood. Oh, the Tremors, Loyd.
Ooh.
Do you have the Tremors?
I do get the tremors at times.
You know, this had one of the best titles in Germany, released in Germany as In the Land of the Rocket Worms. So
Nice.
that is the title that should have been in America, because if I saw a movie called In the Land of the Rocket Worms, I'd be like, I'm in, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Well, this has been a wildly successful franchise. How many are there? Like 7 Tremors movies or something?
37.
7 or 8? I don't know, but
38.
yeah. I mean, excuse me. Let me get a drink. Go ahead, Charles.
No. I mean, this one did groan a lot after its release. This is one of the movies that was not a box office success, but really found its calling on home video market. It became a cult favorite, and that's what launched a lot of the sequels. And it's still a fun movie to watch. I have a soft place for this one because I can remember watching this super young, and I always loved it.
It's good. It's got a great cast. Reba McEntire. I mean,
Reba McEntire. Michael Gross is best. Has Burt Gummer in it. Burt Gummer, something like that.
yeah.
But he has some of the best lines when they're like, what do you use a cannon fuse for? He's like, my cannon.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, this was I like the original. I can't say that I've kept up with any of the others after this one, but
I have to agree. Were they like in Antarctica, like one of the recent ones or something? I haven't watched them, but maybe it'll give me something to watch.
I don't think
Sorry,
I've
guys,
even
I need a
seen
beer.
Go for it. I don't think I've even seen part 2 yet, to be honest with you.
I know I saw the sequels, a couple sequels after this. I do not remember them like whatsoever. Like, I can't even tell you what they were about. So
Yeah.
maybe this is a calling that Charles needs to do a binge watching of all the Tremors movies. I think that is. Arrow Video is actually bringing this out on 4K in December, which I'm looking forward to.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're doing a giant limited edition set and a 4K release of this December 15th. So it's going to be great. Tremors isn't streaming anywhere, guys. If you want to watch it, you can pay for a rental. It's like $4 on Amazon or Vudu, but not really out anywhere to stream.
Yeah, somebody just said that Fred Ward is really underrated. Man, I gotta agree. He is an underrated comedian.
Tyler Burrows said that. Yeah, Tyler, you're right. Fred Ward is great.
Or actor. I mean, I didn't mean to say comedian.
Yeah, he could be a comedian too. But no, he really is a great actor. He's had a lot of roles over the years, but I remember him all the way back in Escape from Alcatraz. He was really great in that. He was in Silkwood. That's a great movie. Remo Williams, he was in that, I know.
Yep.
Great movie. He was even in Henry and June, which I just mentioned, which was the first NC-17 movie ever released. He was in that, which was the same year.
Yep.
But let's go ahead. We could probably roll a trailer for Tremors. I think everybody's kind of familiar with this one, but I do love some Tremors. That's what Loyd gives me, the Tremors.
All right, let's play it.
Yeah.
They're coming!
The good old days of good old monster movies are back. Tremors.
It was funny. It's humongous, slimy, full of goo.
Yeah, we'll take your word for it.
The scariest monster movie since Aliens, says sneak previews.
Bloodthirsty, that creature. Action-packed.
It's a wild film.
And Time magazine raves, Tremors is bound to become a classic. Yeah! Tremors, rated PG-13. Starts tomorrow at theaters everywhere.
Bloodthirsty.
All right, Tremors,
Guys.
the trailer.
I really want to do some of those live like theater reviews with our viewers. I'm gonna be like, how did Frightmare HQ make you feel? And they'd be like, it made my panties fell off. It was good. I liked it.
My head spun around.
My head spun around. It gave me the shits. I was having a great day.
Okay, all right, let's keep moving. Next up, a little movie about a neurosurgeon who delves deep into his own mind to save himself from a megalomaniacal corporation. Released January 19th, 1990, this is the psychological horror film Brain Dead, directed by Adam Simon and starring Bill Pullman, Bill Paxton, and George Kennedy. I've never seen this movie, Charlie. You're going to have to walk me through this one.
Oh, man. You haven't seen this one before?
I haven't, and I've felt bad all my life about it.
Well, I'm going to tell you, this is actually a really, really great movie. More so is Brain Dead was... it was produced by Roger Corman's wife, Julie Corman, for one. And it's kind of interesting how the movie came to be a little bit, because they... Julie Corman had a bunch of interns, like... She gave them busy work to look through, like, stacks of old scripts, and they came across this script, which actually was good, and became a movie. Well, this script for this was actually written by Charles Beaumont, and Charles Beaumont wrote it for Roger Corman in the 60s. Well, if you guys aren't familiar with Charles Beaumont, he was a really great author and screenwriter, but he did like 25 of the original Twilight Zone episodes. Like, he wrote all of them, and including one of my favorites, The Howling Man. He did that. And he also wrote some horror flicks in the 60s, Haunted Palace, Seven Faces of Dr. Lao, and Massacre at Death. Just kind of leading to that because this is a great screenwriter, and he died super young. He died at age like 38 in 1968. So this movie is like a lost like film from him. But outside of that, Brain Dead itself is so well done. The cast is great. I mean, Bill Pullman, Bill Paxton are just fantastic in this. Plus George Kennedy, who is great. I love George
Always
Kennedy.
Great.
But this is like, it's super worth movie, and definitely a watch for fans of the Twilight Zone, because that you will feel that this is the guy who wrote Twilight Zone episodes while you're watching this.
Oh, cool.
It's super underrated movie, but definitely give it a watch.
Yeah, that makes me want to watch it. Let's roll the trailer on this one and check it out.
Mr. Huffenkamp? How's every little floating thing?
There is a limit, even to the imagination.
Halsey was working on something big. Cornerstone technology.
Where our greatest creations meet our deepest fears.
People are so anxious to change their faces. What about their personalities, their very souls?
You are about to go beyond that limit.
The new you from Eunice.
But even the greatest discoveries
You have a special brain, a very special brain.
have a price.
You need those numbers.
Your life.
One in Brain Dead.
Who said anything about Brain Dead?
Who the hell are you? What do you want?
You could be the patient, and Halsey could be the doctor. Just give us those numbers, Halsey.
Just burn out the core.
He's in the hospital.
A little shock therapy will help you relax.
Help me. I'm not dead yet.
Because you're not dead
Don't let them take you into surgery.
until you're brain dead.
All right, we're back, Charles. Brain Dead looks good.
No, Brain Dead's really cool, and the guy who directed that, Adam Simon, didn't really direct a lot of other movies, but he is one of the guys who recently did the teleplays and the writing for the Books of Blood that's coming out pretty soon. So,
Oh, okay.
there's something cool coming up from him.
Awesome. Well, I will search this one out, and I'll see it as soon as possible.
Yeah, like Travis said, it's on Shout Factory TV, And I need to look at Shout Factory review, but Shout Factory also has a Blu-ray out, and it's not streaming anywhere that normal services. But definitely worth buying. It's like $25, I think, for the Blu-ray, but I think it's gonna be one that's gonna go out of print soon.
Yeah, I bet it will too. Yeah. All right,
guys.
Now on to the next one. Two separate horror tales based on the facts in the case of M. Valdemar and The Black Cat, both by Edgar Allan Poe, each directed by two famous horror directors. First released in Italy January 25th, 1990, it's the Italian-American anthology horror film Two Evil Eyes, written and directed by George A. Romero and Dario Argento.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. This is actually a lot of fun. And it so surprises me that a lot of people haven't seen this one, you know?
Yeah, me too. It's really super well done.
Yeah, it's got effects from Tom Savini in it. You know, it's so, like you said, it's just so well done. Romero and Argento work perfectly together. They have different styles, but they always worked well together, if that makes sense, you know? And you got a great cast in this. Kim Hunter's in this. Adrienne Barbeau's in this. Harvey Keitel. Yeah, lots of fun. I really enjoy this one. Pino Donaggio did the score. I love Pino Donaggio. Love the score for this. One of those ones that, you know, people, for some reason, I always run into people who've just never seen it, you know?
Yeah, and it was, like I said, it was really well done. But the two directors managed to somehow match tones, and I think in that... and that's pretty amazing. Like, I think you kind of mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, and you know, it's Argento and Romero's styles were always very opposite, but they always worked well together. Like, they always collaborated just fine. Like, it seems like they would be like this, and they'd get together, and they'd become this weird mesh awesomeness.
Would have been amazing to see them do more together, but unfortunately, this movie wasn't much of a success.
Yeah, not at all. You know, it did horrible. It's the easy way to say it. And even so, it did horrible on. It did horrible on video too. It wasn't released in the U.S. until like late of '91, and it basically played Europe throughout the 1990, and then. You know, by the time it got to the U.S., there was no marketing for it anymore. Nobody really cared, and it just sort of disappeared. You know, it came out, and it came out in video a couple years after that, and then it kind of got lost.
Me You Fools asked, how many movies did Argento and Romero do together? Other than this one, I think basically they just did. They worked on Dawn together.
Yeah, they worked on Dawn together. That was basically it. Pretty much it. Two Evil Eyes was their like real project together. Dawn was a Romero movie, but Argento was very heavily involved with it. Mm-hmm. But this was really their sort of main collaboration, and I really wish we would have got some more from them. I think, you know, the 80s, both of them were doing their own thing. By the time we hit the 90s, you know, it seems like their styling got lost in the public, you know?
Yeah. Let's go to the trailer on this one.
Let's do it.
Wake.
He's still alive.
From the creators of Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, Two Evil Eyes.
We are felons, Jessica. We have committed grand larceny here and fraud and God knows what else.
Beyond the limits of morality.
In a few weeks, we'll have it all.
And beyond the boundaries of life.
I am dead.
You killed her.
And I didn't kill her!
Just take one look at him, then tell me you think he's still alive.
The terror of George Romero.
Wake up!
The suspense of Dario Argento. A new dimension of evil that goes beyond all evil. Two evil eyes. I'm going to wake you.
It's too late!
All right, Two Evil Eyes, guys. Great film. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend checking this one out.
Yeah, definitely recommend it too. This is another one. It's on Canopy, which we've mentioned before. You can watch it for free on Canopy. Also on Vudu. Vudu is showing it free with ads. And it's a $2 rental on Amazon if you want to rent it. Blue Underground has a Blu-ray out for $24.99 on Amazon for this one.
Sweet. All right.
We got another one coming up, Lloyd. You can take this one.
Yes.
This might be one people know.
Let's see. A troubled young man is drawn to a mythical place called Midian, where a variety of friendly monsters are hiding from humanity. Released February 16th, 1990, it's the American dark fantasy horror film Nightbreed, written and directed by Clive Barker, and based on his 1988 novella Cabal.
Ooh. Yeah, this movie, man, did Barker go through some shit with this movie, you know? That's the best way to describe it.
He did.
It was, I guess originally, I mean, if we want to get to the history of it, this was supposed to be a 3-picture deal with Morgan Creek that Barker had, right? So he made this movie. Making the movie was fine. It was getting it out and getting it released was the pain in the ass because, he was obligated to deliver an R rating for this movie. That was his contractual obligation. And also they wrote his contract that it couldn't be gorier than Hellraiser. That was in his contract. Cannot be gorier than Hellraiser.
Really?
Right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the first version of Nightbreed he had in the can that he turned into the studio was 2.5 hours long. Well, the distributor of this movie was 20th Century Fox, and they said, no, we're not going to release this movie unless it's 90 minutes. That's it. Sorry. Well, Nightbreed, I mean, the editor on this quit because of that. He didn't want to edit the movie anymore. He liked the movie how it was. Argento edited it down to 2 hours. They said, no, you son of a bitch. We said 90 minutes. That's basically what they told him.
Argento edited it?
Argento. No, Argento. Barker. You got me thinking
Barker.
about...
We're both
Barker.
having
You got me
brain
thinking about-
lapses tonight.
Well, you got me thinking about Argento now. But no, Barker edited it down himself, and then Barker turned in a final edit of it that was like 1:40. And then, okay, it's going to get released, right? Well, we got the movie edited down, but now the damn studio, Morgan Creek, didn't know what to do with this movie. Like, their head of marketing refused to watch it because he said it grossed him out. So they didn't know how to market it. The marketing guy would not market it right. And then the studio said, well, we don't know what to do with this. There's no famous actors in it. It's weird. It's like a fantasy movie. So they ended up marketing it as a slasher movie, which it's not. And it just confused everybody. It totally tanked at the box office. They pulled their 3-picture deal from Barker, and he didn't make any more movies with them. It was an absolute nightmare. And we had to wait so long to get the damn right cut of this movie, you know?
Yeah, and I remember, too, them saying that the marketing campaign was super weak for this movie as well. Not just did they market it incorrectly, but they didn't put much money into the marketing.
Yeah, because they didn't know what to do with it. I mean, basically, like, the marketing guy was like, I tried to watch it. I can't watch it. It's gross.
Yeah.
I'm not watching this damn movie. And they said, well, we don't know what the hell to do with it either. They're like, here's some shit. Go. And it made no money. And it's so sad because this is a movie I think was released too soon. It was ahead of its time. I think Nightbreed was very much ahead of its time.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. I'm confused on something. People talk about the Cabal cut. I have that special edition from Scream that they put out not too long ago. But I keep hearing people say maybe we'll finally get the Cabal cut. Didn't we get the Cabal cut through Scream Factory?
I thought we did we not?
I don't know, man. I'm so confused. I feel like I still haven't seen all of this movie somehow, but I keep hearing about people saying maybe we'll finally get the Cabal cut.
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard maybe people watching this know more about it too. I know I always hear about more footage from this damn movie being found. Like, yeah. I always hear that. Yeah. I always hear that they found more. They keep finding more. My understanding when that cut was released, that was like the definitive version that Barker wanted people to see. So that's I don't know. I don't know if there's just more footage being found and it's not supposed to be the movie. I'm not 100% sure, but I really enjoyed the version that came out, the longer version. I can say I enjoyed it a lot more than the theatrical version. A lot of us saw on VHS and etc. You know?
Yeah. Well, let's go to the trailer because we're never going to figure this out. Here we go.
It's just down the road at the edge of town. You know you shouldn't go there, especially after dark. Before you've seen a thing, they're all around you. Before you know what's happening.
Something's breeding there.
It's too late.
You can't go down there!
Now, Clive Barker, creator of Hellraiser, brings you a reason to really be afraid of the dark. Nightbreed.
And I love that Cronenberg is in this movie. We were just talking about that, but I love that he's in this movie.
And he's so perfect as like this insane, crazy doctor. I'm like, freaking Cronenberg, you know?
Well, to me, he was kind of the highlight of the movie to me. I went in, and I think I've said this before on this show, but I went in to see Nightbreed, expecting Hellraiser type stuff, and that's not what I got. Yeah. And I didn't like it when it first came out. I've grown to appreciate it over the years. It's still not one of my favorite movies of all time, but I get why it's so highly regarded by fans. So there's that.
Yeah, really well done. I mean, I guess on a last note, I really love Danny Elfman's score for Nightbreed. Danny Elfman did this really crazy score for it. I mean, best way to say it, but you know, he had just come off doing Batman, and he got this. He was still a relatively young composer, and his score in this is just perfect. It's just goofy as hell, and it works.
It seemed like for about 5 to 10 years, Danny Elfman did every soundtrack. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there was a period where he was doing literally everything.
Yeah, Danny Elfman, I mean, he was real big in, you know, 80s through even through the 2000s. I mean, he did a lot because
he did a ton of
his
stuff.
He's kind of a weird composer because he has a distinctive Danny Elfman sound, but then he also scores movies that are nothing like his sound. Like, he just throws it out there and it's completely different. Like, if you hear the score he did for Red Dragon in like 2002, it doesn't sound anything like Danny Elfman, but he composed Spider-Man the same year, and that sounds just like Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
Same thing, like 99, he did Instinct, which doesn't sound like him. He did Sleepy Hollow, which sounds exactly like him. He did that a lot because that's how he was. He was a great guy.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of these directors wanted that sound too, you know, because it had become so recognizable. So I'm sure a lot of directors or producers or whatever wanted that sound.
It's his own sound. I mean, His sound is good. It goes with a specific type of movie, though. It's like if you try to get his sound in the wrong type of movie, you've just got this weird music going on that doesn't fit with what you're watching. So
Yeah.
But it works in movies like Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Beetlejuice and Batman, Nightbreed, Edward Scissorhands, Batman Returns, Mission Impossible. It even works because he did Mission Impossible, the first one.
All right. Shall we move on? Are you okay?
Go. I'm ready, Loyd.
Do it.
All right. I'm gonna do it, Loyd. You want me to do it?
Yes.
You want me to do it live?
Do it live, baby.
All right. A man finds out that his parents had been used in an atomic weapons experiment shortly before he was born, and that result have had some slightly unexpected effects on him. This was released February 23rd, 1990. It is the American sci-fi horror film Spontaneous Combustion, directed by Tobe Hooper.
Tobe Hooper. So we talked about this on our Patreon stream. We talked about Spontaneous Combustion not being one of the best Tobe Hooper movies, unfortunately. But let's watch the trailer to this one, and then come back and talk about this one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Tobe Hooper, the director of Poltergeist. Tobe Hooper, the modern master of the macabre, now brings you his greatest achievement. In the spring of 1955.
Okay, Brian, Peggy, very soon. Ready now. Ready.
A secret experiment began. An experiment that left one survivor.
The vital signs are all perfect. There's no signs of radiation.
Now, the child has become a man.
Well, looks like you lived. Got a slight fever.
A man who doesn't know the secret of his past.
My parents didn't burn to death, they drowned.
Something's happening to me.
2 people I know burned to death.
Or the terror of his future.
They're watching me.
Nobody's interested.
Before his enemies can stop him. Before his gift will transform him.
The doctor can save your life. There is a vaccine.
Sam Kramer must uncover the mystery of his own life.
By all rights, you should never have been born. And if it wasn't for me, you never would have been.
And fight fire.
I will use my gift.
With fire. Spontaneous Combustion, starring Academy Award nominee Brad Dourif, Melinda Dillon, and Cynthia Bain.
God damn you!
Spontaneous Combustion.
All right, Charles. The only thing I took from that was that they pronounced his name Brad Dourif.
And the Brad Dourif, and the greatest Tobe Hooper achievement yet
of all time.
Sorry, Brad Dourif. Guys, I had to add the Japanese subtitles so Loyd could read it because he actually requested that.
I was having a hard time. So Brad Dourif, or is it Brad Dourif? I don't know.
Brad Dourif, man. That's
Brad
his new
Dourif.
name.
All right, well, you know, not the greatest Tobe Hooper movie, so whatever.
You know, not the greatest one, but I'll say it's if you're gonna watch it, it's worth watching for Brad Dourif. He does really well in it, and he's kind of the one person holding the movie together, but not the best one. But it being directed by Hooper, and it was one of like the last big efforts from Hooper, it had to be on the list. I'm gonna eat my Kit Kat now.
Okay, there you go. So I'm next, I guess. Excuse me. A young couple with a newborn baby don't realize that the nanny they hired is a magical nymph who sacrifices infants to an evil tree. Released April 27th, 1990. It's the American supernatural horror film The Guardian, co-written and directed by William Friedkin.
I'm
I don't
sorry,
like
but
this.
when you say
nymph,
you're nothing but a tree nymph, you son of a bitch.
he's just a nymph. Okay, I've never liked this movie. I don't know about you.
I only put it on the list so I could hear you say tree nymph. So
exactly.
That's the reason I put it on here.
And you know I'm a fan of Friedkin and The Exorcist and all of that stuff, but
yeah, guys. I mean, directed by William Friedkin, the guy who directed so many great movies. You know, The Exorcist, To Live and Die in L.A. You know, he did so many great movies, but The Guardian is weird. Let's just say that.
And not good.
It feels kind of like a Lifetime movie at times.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that. But I will say that there are some fans of this movie, and if you are a fan of this movie, I'm not trying to say that you're wrong. This is just my opinion, but not the biggest fan either. Why is it on our list? Well, because I wanted to hear Loyd say tree nymph.
Tree nymph. Let's watch the trailer on this one.
What does it have? Tree nymph?
Okay, it's a boy. He looks great.
Well, I look at some employment agencies. I thought I'd try this one in Santa Monica, Guardian Angel.
These references?
Oh, yes. Hi.
Come in, sweetie.
She takes care of the baby. What else does she do?
I ran her over. I hit her full force.
There is no body.
I saw her. She's dead.
There's no evidence that the woman you describe ever existed.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't ever want to insult anyone if you like a movie and I don't like it. It's just never been one of my favorites. So
I do have this on video VHS, home video cassette.
If you're a big fan of The Guardian, step up. Step up.
If you would be interested in a copy of this, I can make your day with the Tree Nymph VHS Spectacular.
Yeah.
Released by MCA Universal Home Video. The Guardian.
Boom.
Is it better than Battlefield Earth? That's for you to decide. But for me to hawk. So here it goes.
Maybe. All right. So let's go to the next one, Charles. This is a good one.
Wait, what? Okay, let's do it.
This is a good one.
Man, a young boy tells 3 stories, guys, to distract a witch who plans to eat him. Released May 4th. It is the American comedy horror anthology, Tales from the Darkside, the movie, directed by the one and only John Harrison, based on the anthology TV series. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. Hang on, I'll be right back. Go ahead and do this.
The hell's Loyd going? Guys, Loyd just quit. Anyway, Tales from the Darkside, the movie, guys. Fantastic film. So, one that was directed by John Harrison. And for guys who've watched our 80s series, John Harrison was known as a composer first. He was the composer for Creepshow, Day of the Dead, and Tales from the Darkside, the movie. He was also the composer as well as the director. I have always loved Tales from the Darkside, the movie. It's John Harrison, in my opinion, has a very similar style and feel to Romero. And, you know, I think that came from working with Romero so much because, you know, he was assistant director on Creepshow and Day of the Dead. And this was kind of not the first thing he directed, but really one of the first big things he directed.
I
Are you
love
back,
Tales
Lloyd?
from the Darkside. I'm back.
Somebody said you were getting down with the tree nymph. No, I was just talking about John Harrison, you know, the composer who directed this, you know?
Yep.
One of the stories in this, Cat from Hell, was originally supposed to be for Creepshow 2, but was edited out for time. But they didn't film or anything, but it was cut from being filmed because of, you know, they lost budget on Creepshow 2, ended up in this. Yeah, lots of fun. I mean, I was saying that, you know, my opinion, John Harrison has a similar styling to Romero, and I think that's because he was his assistant director on Creepshow and Day of the Dead.
Yeah,
I think John Harrison would have been a really great choice for Creepshow 2 that was done. But that's, well, we're here, we're there. John Harrison, you know, he was also the screwdriver zombie in Dawn of the Dead. If you guys remember, he gets the screwdriver stuck in his head before he did anything.
Yep.
So we've said about Romero before is his friends and family have always been with him. You know, they stick with him in these movies because he was such a great guy.
Yep. And he Harrison also directed the Dune miniseries, the TV miniseries, which I never saw, but just thought I would note that. I like John Harrison. I always liked his scores. I thought
very great scores.
Fantastic. Day of the Dead is actually, I like it better than I like the Dawn of the Dead score. Not that I don't like Dawn of the Dead, but I do like his score much better.
Blasphemy, you tree nymph loving son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You love
these
tree
These
nymphs.
opinions are mine and not necessarily the opinions of this show.
No, but yeah, he is a great guy who did a lot of stuff, and you know, he was directing episodes of the TV show, and that's why he was tapped to do this. And the TV show was so fantastic. I have to tell you guys, I run into a lot of people who have seen the movie but never any of the TV show. So worth it to go back and watch those two. Really, really well done. John Harrison hasn't been really seen a lot, but he did direct a few episodes of the Creepshow TV series that came back last year. So it was nice to see him.
Yeah.
Kind of
Everybody
back.
knows that I love anthologies, and this is no exception. This is a great anthology.
Why has John Harrison never been at Texas Frightmare Weekend?
We actually had him booked for the 2007 event. And he was in the middle of making his movie, Books of Blood. And that took him away. He had to cancel, unfortunately.
Lloyd. I don't know. But John Harrison was great. And like we were saying, I love his scores. And he actually didn't compose that many movies. Like he did like 3 movies and a little bit of TV series. It's a guy who's kind of been all over the place, but he's really good at everything he does. But we can roll a trailer. I think we have a trailer for this one. We do.
If I can find it on this. Let's see.
You can do whatever you want because you're an adult.
I'm an adult, but there are a lot of trailers on here. Okay, here it is. Let's go.
Sorry.
Stephen King, originator of Pet Cemetery.
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
Arthur Conan Doyle, author of Sherlock Holmes. Michael McDowell, creator of Beetlejuice. George Romero, director of Night of the Living Dead. Now, these 4 masters of everlasting horror bring to the screen 4 tales of overwhelming terror.
I warned them, but they wouldn't listen.
Tales of diabolical fate.
You promised you'd never tell!
Tales of ghastly revenge.
Grow, O light. Rise, O light. Come forth, O light. Open his eyes.
Tales of ruthless evil.
That cat has killed 3 people in this household.
I don't believe this.
Kill it, bury it, and bring me its tail.
Tales
Tales from the Darkside.
Well, that just about takes care of that, doesn't it?
Come, live the nightmare of your choice. Tales from the Darkside. The movie.
All right. Tales from the Darkside. Really great movie. I enjoy it a lot.
Look at that cast.
Pretty cool cast, huh?
Debbie Harry.
Debbie Harry. Who's the guy that played? He looks really old in everything he's ever been in. The older guy.
Oh, Lloyd Carr.
That's me.
I don't know which guy. William Hickey.
William Hickey. That's who I'm thinking of. William Hickey. He passed away in '97.
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff though. I know he was the evil scientist in Nightmare Before Christmas. He did a great voice of that.
Yeah.
And also he was Lewis in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I remember him in that too.
Yeah, exactly. That had to have been out around the time when he passed away. I don't remember when that movie came out, but yeah.
I don't know. I just know horror movies.
There you go. So, you're next, Charles. This is a fun one.
No, it's you. You're next.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. All right. So, a husband finds out that his wife and her lover are trying to kill him. First aired May 9th, 1990. American made-for-television horror film thriller, Buried Alive, directed by Frank Darabont and starring Tim Matheson, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and William Atherton. I've always liked this movie.
God, it's a great movie. First film to be directed by Darabont. You know, he would do Shawshank like 4 or 5 years after this. And this movie is always overshadowed by everything else he's done and is largely like ignored and forgot about. And it's so great, especially for being a TV movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it doesn't even feel like a TV movie. It's one of those TV movies that feels like it was not made for TV for sure.
Yeah, that's the truth. Darabont is one of the best directors of all time. He hasn't directed a lot, but he's a phenomenal director. But, people forget that Darabont started in horror. He did this, but he was a screenwriter, and he wrote the screenplays for Fly 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors, the Blob remake. He's a fantastic filmmaker that got screwed over on The Walking Dead. That's basically what happened to him.
He sure did.
And, yeah, I mean, he got screwed, and he hasn't directed a movie in 13 years. The last movie he directed was one of the best movies like the last 20 years, The Mist, which I loved.
Yep.
I fight for The Mist because The Mist is amazing. And he's been largely gone. I mean, he worked on Walking Dead and then was kicked off, and he sort of just disappeared. Like he spent the last 7 years trying to sue them for money for Walking Dead, and that's all he does now.
Yeah,
I'm like, get back to making movies. Come on,
yeah,
I want something else.
Yeah, it's too bad they screwed him over, but let's watch the trailer.
Yeah.
This is a toxin.
How does it work?
The recipient has a cardiac arrest. Quick and clean. It's almost tasteless. You can put it in his food. You can put it in a drink. Whatever.
I never knew murder could be so pure.
All right. Buried Alive. That is definitely a film worth watching. Very well made. Very well done.
Yeah. It's not been an easy one to get, but, Buried Alive is actually streaming on Prime Video, guys. Wanted to call that out. The very first Blu-ray ever of this is coming out by Kino Lorber in November. So I know a lot of people, including myself, are looking forward to that one because it's actually a remastered version of that movie. So looking forward to it. But
awesome.
On that note, I will move to a very fun one that I really enjoy. A movie that reminds me of Loyd a lot.
Want a date?
And when I read this synopsis, you guys will know. A medical student sets out to recreate his decapitated fiancée by building her a new body made of Manhattan street prostitutes. And if anybody knows about Manhattan street prostitutes, it is Lloyd Cryer, everybody. Now, this was released June 1st, 1990, the American black comedy horror flick Frankenhooker, directed by Frank Henenlotter. And I know we have some Frankenhooker fans out there. I was waiting for Allie. Where's Allie? Where's Allie?
Where is she? I don't know, but Frankenhooker.
I saw her. Frankenhooker
is a favorite. Yeah, there she goes. She says, "That's my jam."
Yep, that is my strawberry jam, guys. That's no joke. Frankenhooker is so much fun. I love Henenlotter as well.
Yep, me too. There's a lot of, and he's got a lot of fans. It was so good to see him return with Frankenhooker. It was definitely something up his alley. Ha ha.
Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I mean, Frank Henenlotter is a really crazy guy. I'm just gonna say that he is a basket case, just like one of his early movies. But this is so great. And this is the first of two movies that he released in 1990. That's a hint. But yeah, I love Frankenhooker. I mean, what are you gonna say about Frankenhooker? It's such a bewildering movie. It's crazy, and you've got Patty Mullen, Penthouse Pet herself, in this movie. You know?
Yep. It's a great flick. It was a great return, for Henenlotter. He's just one of my all-time favorites. He's right up there. He's got to be top 5 directors for me.
He's so great. He's such a crazy style. He's so visionary. It's just, he comes up with the weirdest things. Like, you see his movies and you're like, where the hell did that come from?
Yep.
He's a writer too. I mean, he writes these movies. And I'm like, I just want to give him a hug and say thank you for being one of the weird people like us. 'Cause that's how we are.
Exactly. Something I will recommend that he directed recently is a documentary called Boiled Angels, The Trial of Mike Diana. I don't know where you can watch that right now. I haven't looked it up, but it's a documentary about an artist who was, just as out there as Henenlotter was, and he got in a lot of trouble for it. Got taken to court for his art and everything, so it's a great flick.
It's on Prime Video.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Yeah. Great watch. Let's roll a trailer for Frankenhooker because, I mean, you could talk about Frankenhooker all day, but we really need to see some Frankenhooker right now. That's
there
what
we
need.
go. All right, we need it in our lives.
We do.
In 1931, the world was horrified by the motion picture Frankenstein. In 1935, horror turned to terror with The Bride of Frankenstein. In 1990, the makers of Basket Case and Brain Damage bring you...
Want a date?
Frankenhooker.
Jeffrey Franken has a plan.
I just want to bring you back, Elizabeth.
He has the ingenuity.
I need female body parts.
He has everything he needs, except the raw materials.
Just hold still. Excellent. Oh, my God. Bunyan!
Jeffrey's creation is alive.
Looking for some action?
Oh, yeah.
She's sexy.
Want a date? You going out?
I'm on my way home, but thanks anyway.
And she's sutured to please.
Listen, I'm looking for a very tall, attractive woman. She's purple. She's got fresh scars on her. She's in the bar!
Now, a motion picture like no other. A tender story of love and romance.
Want a date?
A gripping tale of lust and revenge. Frankenhooker.
Incredible.
Some assembly may be required.
I'm glad to hear it's coming soon to a theater near us, Charles.
Me too. I can't wait to actually sit down in a theater and have a little bit of Frankenhooker in my life. I'm really waiting. I will be there on opening day, and I don't know who's joining me. I'm sure Travis and Allie will be there though. We're gonna watch Frankenhooker.
Probably. So this is out. You can rent it. Amazon Vudu. Synapse has a Blu-ray. Arrow released this in the UK on a region-free Blu-ray, so you can import a copy for $15. Awesome.
Yeah. Yes, you can. The next one's great.
Go for it.
So what you have to
Charles.
do? This is yours. The next one's yours. But what you have to do? What you have to do is read the synopsis and then roll the trailer, because I don't know how else to explain what I'm about to make everybody go through, because these are one of my movies, guys. All right.
Yeah, I've never heard of this one, so this is when this is over with, y'all can thank Charles.
You can watch the trailer too. I want you to watch the trailer, Lloyd. Just go. I'm just gonna drink my beer and enjoy this.
All
it's
right.
so great.
When the wife of a wealthy man cannot get pregnant, she reaches out to a mountaintop vampire named Nevla in the hope that he can help her conceive. Released in India, June 1st, 1990. This is the Bollywood horror movie Bandh Darwaza.
Darwaza. Yes.
Directed by the Ramsey brothers.
The same guys who made Purani Mandir.
All right. Well, here comes the trailer. Then.
Roll it. Guys, sit down.
भीगा मौसम तड़पाए तू भी मेरे पास ना आए ना तू सताए
इस वक्त तुम मेरे काबू में हो तुम मुस्तासी को लाओगे
नदिया से दरिया दरिया से सागर सागर से गहरा जाम
Okay, Charles, I didn't know if that was a bat or a fox or a werewolf at the beginning.
Let me tell you, the best thing about this movie is that it is 2 hours and 37 minutes long. That's no joke.
You're not. Oh my God.
This is such a great movie. I love the Ramsey brothers. They made Purani Mandir.
Yeah.
And this is one of the weirdest freaking movies you're ever gonna see in your life. It's so long. It's so weird. It is straight Bollywood vampire. You got dancing. You've got vampires sucking blood. You've got kung fu fighting.
Oh,
You've got
my
everything.
Lord.
I just want to be like.
Well, I have nothing to say because I've never seen this movie. All I can tell you is the trailer looks wild.
It's crazy. It's a weird treat though. It's like it's actually pretty easy to follow. There's not much to the story, but there's so much going on in this movie that the 2 hours and 37 minutes will just fly by, and you're going to be a different person afterwards. Your seat's going to be sweaty, and your head's going to hurt. Just say that.
Wait a minute, Charles. I feel a wind blowing. and I smell something strange. Do you know what that means? It's a
smells.
I feel a wind.
Is it?
And it smells weird.
Is it possessed wind?
It is, I believe. Oh yes, it is. The next movie coming up is Charles.
Oh my God! I know this movie. I can't say it.
Do it.
Okay.
Just read it, and then say it.
Okay. Investigating the Investigating the mysterious death of his grandparents, a man and his friends assemble back to the old farm, where it all began. 60 years earlier. Released in West Germany, because that's the only place that can release it. July 5th, 1990. It is the American horror film Demon Wind.
Demon Wind. I knew I was smelling a demon wind, Charles.
I smell something awry. I smell something very, very peculiar to the nostrils. It happens to be a demon wind.
Okay, we got to play the trailer first. So let's do that so people get it.
60 years ago, an entire family vanished without a trace. Now, one young man must face the demon wind.
How do we get to the Carter place from here?
You can't?
I think something bizarre has been going on at that farm for a long time. I'm gonna find out what.
It's a gateway to hell, and there's no turning back.
Nu protesta Santana vivet.
What did it say? It said, now Satan shall walk.
Please, boy, don't go up there.
I have to.
You can't leave. You were mine.
It's an altar to the devil.
No, it really is beautiful. Jack, there is something here, something evil. No! 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 Please help me! What? Oh, God, help me! No!
My will be done.
Nothing, little man. Die, child of man.
Wind. Wind.
And now, my pig, you die.
Now you see it. Now you don't. Now you're dead. Demon Wind.
Okay. I don't know. I find the whole demon wind thing funny, Charles. It's just, there's so many, there's like, oh, the demon wind, and then something explodes like somebody lit a match or something.
Don't go up there, boy. It's the demon wind.
It's the demon wind.
You know what's really funny is that Lou Diamond Phillips was one of the uncredited demons of that movie. Did you know that?
No way.
Yeah. So he was actually he was married to second director Julie Cypher at the time. So he was uncredited as a demon in that movie. He was in the makeup and everything.
Wow. Well, Vinegar Syndrome put it out recently.
Of course they did. Vinegar Syndrome's the only people are going to bring this movie out for us.
Yeah.
That's it.
So that's cool. I mean,
Loyd.
you'll get it. You can rent it on. I'm sorry, it's on Prime Video, or
It is on Prime Video.
Yeah, if you don't have Prime, you can rent it for $1.99 on Amazon, or you can get the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray for $19.99.
Can you tell me more about your demon wind, Loyd?
Yes, just wait. I will release my demon wind. Okay.
All right, let's move on, guys, because we got 37 more movies to go through. So.
Yeah, we got to keep rocking. So the next one, a species of South American killer spider hitches a lift to the U.S. in a coffin and starts to breed and kill. Released on July 18th, 1990, is the American black comedy horror film Arachnophobia, directed by Frank Marshall and starring Jeff Daniels and John Goodman, as well as a bunch of other people.
Like 16, like everybody was in this movie. I think Paul Rubens was in this movie, and Jim Varney,
Sands.
Dario Argento was in this movie. Frank Darabont,
Brian
Cruz,
McNamara.
John Travolta was in this movie too. Chrissy Teigen was in this movie.
Peter Jason was in it.
Peter Jackson was in it too.
Oh my goodness,
guys!
This is
Charles
a good
has
movie.
Charles has a really bad fear of spiders,
Yeah.
and I remember when this movie, I watched it when it came out, and I peed myself that night 6 times.
I like Arachnophobia though. It's a fun movie. I don't really have a bug problem. I mean, as long as they stay away from me, if they get too close, I'll just kill them. But you know. Arachnophobia was a good movie. It's a good dark comedy.
It is a good dark comedy, and you know the giant general spider in the climax was propped on by Jamie Hyman, who is one of the stars and producers of Mythbusters. So we know him from Mythbusters. Did really great effects work, and Arachnophobia is just a lot of fun. You know, it's not graphic or, you know, that kind of stuff. It's just a genuine thriller of a movie. You know, it's just like nothing over the top. It's that there's some damn spiders and they're just pissed off and they're going to fucking kill you. And that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
You know,
that's it.
That's the movie. They're not 80 foot like Kingdom of the Spiders or Giant Spider Invasion, you know?
Yep. It was a very successful movie, surprisingly. That was a hit.
It did well. I think it's because it was I don't know. I mean, it was a really marketable movie at the time, and you know, not only that, it was PG-13, and it came out in the summertime, so PG-13 means families could go see it. And I think it just was a fun movie, and I always enjoyed it.
Yeah, same here.
Haven't seen it in the longest time though. I mean, I like to go back and rewatch it. You know, there's only one Blu-ray. Well, it's funny because the Blu-ray's $50 and it's out of print, but you can order the same Blu-ray from Canada that's a Region A2, and it's like $10 plus tax. So
yeah,
just
so
order
might as well
that
do
one.
Yeah.
Or you can order them and just resell them on eBay for $47 so people will buy them. So.
Yeah. Let's watch the trailer. Here we go.
Oh yeah, let's watch it.
The Jennings family has just moved to the small town of Canaima.
Oh, Ross, smell that air. Oh, God.
In search of a simpler life.
Want to blow up a bullfrog? Okay.
It's the perfect place.
Goodbye crime, goodbye grime.
Except for one pesky little problem.
Come with me and look at the web. The web? I have a terrible fear of spiders. Come on, we live in the country now. It's time to work through this irrational, paralyzing terror. It's not irrational.
Hollywood Pictures and Amblin Entertainment present Jeff Daniels.
Honey, we're in the living room. We need you to kill a spider.
And John Goodman.
Dover McClintock, Infestation Management.
I thought it's just a spider.
Would anybody object if I tore this floor out?
I would.
False alarm, then lead on. There's no spider here.
Every so often in a little town somewhere, there is a health scare.
There's a rumor going around that some kind of spider might have killed Sam Metcalf.
Doubtful.
Spiders make convenient culprits.
There's no spider here.
I think one of your Venezuelan spiders hitched a ride here. There may be some spiders around here that are very dangerous.
God, chill out.
Just run.
They spread out from a central nest in a web-like pattern and dominate the entire area. When that happens, this town is dead.
Better uncork my private stock.
Rock and roll!
Hollywood Pictures and Amblin Entertainment present Arachnophobia. 8 legs, 2 fangs, and an attitude.
Perk up, Loyd. If we find the spider that did this, you can arrest him.
Arachnophobia, a thrill-omedy.
Was that guy's name Loyd?
Loyd.
Was it?
Loyd Fryer.
Why are there never any cool characters called Loyd?
That's
such a bummer, man. I'm bummed now.
That's just his life. I do love Arachnophobia, though. I mean, I think the fact that they used, real spiders, no CGI, practical effects, just made it that much more effective. Nowadays, if this was made, they'd be like CGI. They'd run like 98 miles an hour, and they'd be like purple with neon fucking flashers on their asses and stuff, and coming down from the sky.
Well, we kind of got that, only they were giant spiders with 8-legged freeks. But I liked 8-legged freaks. I do like that movie. It was so dumb. It was dumb, but I liked it.
I don't know about you guys, but I like to trick or treat with myself. So I come up to myself and I'm like, trick or treat, Charles. And I'm like, you want some candy, Charles? I'm like, yeah, eating it.
We'll send everybody to your house then, Charles, so they can just
everybody come over, man. We're gonna
in your bucket.
We're gonna watch Bandh Darwaza, and we're gonna 3 hours of eating candy.
There you go. All right, I'm ready for the next one, Charles. Who's up? Is it you or is it me?
Demon Wind is the next one.
Okay. You're next,
it's me,
buddy.
actually.
Yes, sir.
All right. This is a fun one. I like this movie a lot. All right, guys. A director is stalked by a killer who is copying his murders from gory death scenes from the director's films. Released in Italy August 8th, 1990. It's the Italian horror film A Cat in the Brain. Okay, get this. Written and directed by Lucio Fulci, but also starring Fulci has Lucio Fulci.
Yeah.
There. He plays himself in the movie and directs himself while playing himself while being himself.
And it's such a batshit crazy movie.
That movie is bonkers. It's so like, even the trailer is like you're watching some weird Fulci voyeurism like thing. It's just like, what the hell's going on?
I know. Let's watch that real quick and we'll come back and
let's
talk
watch
about
it. I'll give you my Kit Kats. Let's do it.
Try to concentrate on the metronome. You will do everything I tell you to do.
You nearly killed a telejournalist and smashed a camera.
Yeah, stick it on fire!
And then you started to tear off Mrs. Herbert's clothes.
But you won't remember anything. You will slowly be possessed by madness. You'll think you've committed terrible crimes.
What's the matter with you, Fulci?
But I'll be the one who kills and wreaks the horror. Just like you do in your films. Doesn't look real to me yet. Get him out of my sight. I'll create an evil being who everyone will think is you. A mad, bloodthirsty monster. Your films, your scripts will condemn you as the murderer. After all, doesn't that stupid old theory say that seeing violence on the screen provokes violence? Hmm?
Oh, that cat, Charles. That cat has always killed me.
Somebody asked about the voice. Yeah, it's not Fulci's voice. Fulci was dubbed in every version. English, Italian. He didn't even use his own Italian version. He was dubbed by somebody else. A completely different person. Other than that, I see Charles Anderson just joined us. What's up, Charles?
Yo.
You missed out on Demon Wind, dude. You could have been here for Demon Wind.
Yeah.
And I also saw that Allie said that she did a video of Japanese Halloween candy box. I'd like to watch that, Allie. Send it over to me because I love me some Japanese candy. I like candy in general. I have to maintain this physique of mine. It requires beer and candy. It's the only way I can live my life, guys. All right.
There you go.
This is a weird movie, though. It's a lot of fun. It's towards the end of Fulci's life and career. I mean, really. It's not streaming anywhere. Grindhouse is, I think, dropping a Blu-ray, or they did drop a Blu-ray of it. Finally.
I will say about this movie, though, that you should definitely be familiar with his films before watching this. It helps.
Yeah,
it just helps.
Yeah. If you're really not familiar with Fulci at all, you'll just be confused. Probably you'll be like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah. But it is a crazy movie, and it's a good one, though. It's good.
I agree, man. I agree. It's a great one to go on. We can roll, though. We can roll. We got about 46 more to do. So,
rocking right along, a police lieutenant uncovers more than he bargained for as he investigates a series of murders. Released August 17th, the American psychological horror film The Exorcist III, written and directed by William Peter Blatty. Charles, what do you think of this one?
This is really, I mean, it's Exorcist 3, but this is really Exorcist 2. That's really what this is.
Yeah.
Blatty was for those who aren't familiar, Blatty was the writer of the original Exorcist novel. He wrote the original novel and the screenplay adaptation. He won an Oscar for the screenplay, I think, but Exorcist 2, he had nothing to do with except for characters by name, right? This one, Exorcist 3, they basically contacted him at first and wanted to make Exorcist 3. And this is like late 70s. They first were going to make this. And Franken was actually supposed to come back at that time. It got shelved. So this is kind of a weird movie where it was originally written as a screenplay that he then turned into a book. The book was called Legion. Then he turned his book Legion back into a screenplay to make a movie. So I actually like this one quite a bit. I like it a lot better than Exorcist 2. I'll throw that out there. Originally, kind of a fun trivia for this. Originally, they wanted John Carpenter to direct this movie, Exorcist 3. And he sort of backed out. And that was the time that Blatty got the director role. He wasn't really known for being a director much. He only did one other movie I know of called Ninth Configuration, which is like 80 or 81. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I really like this movie, though. I think it's well done. It's sort of a direct sequel to the first one. It ignores everything in the second one, and it sort of goes from the first one to the third one. So really, it's Exorcist 2. I mean, I'm kind of the person where if I watch these, I watch Exorcist and I watch Exorcist 3. And a lot of times I ignore Exorcist 2. Nothing wrong with people who like it, but it's not my cup of tea. That's what I have to say.
There you go.
That's all I got.
Who did you like better? Would you have rather had Jason Miller complete that role? Or
yes.
I would have too. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, Brad Dourif did an amazing job, but man, I would have liked to have seen Jason Miller finish that role out.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him finish that role out too. And I think he could have. I mean, I think he could have. He wasn't that. I mean, he was a little older at the time. He was only like 50 at the time this came out. Yeah, I think he could have.
Well, the problem with Miller at the time was he was suffering. He was a bad alcoholic, and so I don't know. I've read so much on that, but he was suffering from DT and all kinds of stuff during the filming of this. So
yeah, he died young. He died real young. Like he was like 60, but he died like 2001 or 2002. It's real sad.
And I'm going to say something. This movie has one of the scariest scenes of all time, in my opinion. I jump every time that hospital scene plays. And I won't give it away for anybody, but...
You won't give it away, Loyd? Give it away, Loyd.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah, I mean, it's good. And Jason Miller, appears in Exorcist 3, Patient X. So he is in the movie, but yeah, there's something more I'd like to see. But yeah, it is generally a scary movie. It's really well written, and that's William Blatty. He's a great writer. He's great at writing suspense, like where he builds you up for so long to where you finally just end up shitting yourself, because that's what he did to you. It's a great one though. We can roll a trailer. I think we have the trailer for it, but
okay, here we go.
Do it.
The creator of the original Exorcist is back with a terror unlike any ever known. Just behind this door. William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist III.
All right, Charles. So let's go ahead and move right along after Exorcist 3. This is one that I have not seen, but I've always wanted to because it's one of those fringe films I hear.
Oh yeah, it's a crazy one. A man searching for his long lost lover is kidnapped by a mother and daughter duo who force him to commit various sexual atrocities with them. First premiered at the Toronto Film Festival on September 13th, 1990. It is the Greek underground horror art film Strangeness, Singapore Sling, directed by a guy named Nikos Nikolaitis. It was also known as Singapore Sling, The Man Who Loved a Corpse. So
Singapore Sling is a cocktail drink, right?
Yeah, it's a cocktail drink.
Does that have anything to do with what's going on in the movie?
No. This is a well, how can I describe this movie? Let me think. The only word I can think of is bewildering. I'm going to go with that word. It's one of the most original films you will probably ever watch. It is absolutely beautiful. The movie itself is shot in black and white. Wonderful use of shadows and grays. The film really plays out like a super demented universal horror film. That's the way it looks. It's super disturbing, and it's one I will say is one of my favorite films of the 90s is Singapore Sling. It really is. Okay. I absolutely love this movie. It is not the easiest one to find anywhere. It's not streaming. There's never been a Blu-ray for it. Synapse released the DVD in the mid-2000s that doesn't look that good, and it's like $40 if you find one. It's something I would love to see brought back out. We can roll a trailer, and I think from the trailer you guys will get a little bit more of this movie.
Okay, I got to see this now. It looks batshit.
This is psycho noir. This is bad. This is psycho noir at its best. This is batshit, insane, crazy, but absolutely freaking beautiful film. Super duper well made. I love this movie. Really do. Despite how batshit crazy it is so freaking well done that I think everybody needs to check this out. And really, all these distributors out there bringing out the weirdest freaking movies they can find. Somebody grab this one and bring this out in a nice Blu-ray copy, because the best version of it is, for some reason, this damn trailer is the best way I can find this movie. There's not a good version of this.
Well, I'd buy it day one if somebody would put it out, just because I like fringe kind of films.
So I kind of want to remake this movie with you, Loyd, especially the mummy scene.
I'm not getting in that at all.
Lloyd.
Nope.
Lloyd,
Nope.
we're doing it black and white.
Not
Lloyd,
happening. Not
It's happening.
happening.
Look, you can say no all you want, but when you have to sleep at some point, and that's when I record my videos with you. So
Okay. I say we shift gears massively. This next one is a big gear shifter, and I
You
love
want
this
to shift the
movie.
gears?
I do.
You want to be the night tickler? You want to tickle me? Huh? You want to see it?
Well,
I
it
can
is-
smell your demon wind.
Oh boy. Can I talk now,
Demon
Donald?
I don't know. Do you have any demon wind for me?
Next up, everybody.
demon wind.
Linda Blair is once again possessed by a demon, and only Leslie Nielsen can save her. Released
I can't.
September 14th, 1990, it's the American horror parody Repossessed, directed
Not
by
Repossessed.
Bob Logan.
No, not repossessed.
This
Lloyd.
is a fantastic horror movie parody. And
Why has nobody brought this out on Blu-ray? It's only on DVD, like an old shitty DVD copy. That's it.
I don't know, but it's great. It's almost as good as Airplane, in my opinion. It's a really very good horror movie parody. So let's go ahead and watch the
It's
trailer
great.
for this one.
Let's do it.
Not long ago, an entire world watched as a little girl and a holy exorcist battled and cast out the devil himself. But now, Linda Blair's been repossessed. And this is the only man who could possibly save her. Leslie Nielsen.
I couldn't find my butt with both my hands.
Linda Blair.
God created man in his own image.
Then how do you explain Pee Wee Herman?
Repossessed.
Of course I love you, yeah.
All right, Repossessed. I
Man.
love that movie. It's pretty hilarious. Every time I watch this movie, though, I always think, how in the world did they get Linda Blair to do this movie? It's dream casting for a comedy film, and that never happens, where you get somebody to come back and kind of reprise a character in a movie making fun of the biggest movie of your life.
You don't see parody films at all with the original cast member really like that in like a starring role.
There must have been a giant pile of cocaine. That's all I'm saying.
It was cocaine with cash in the middle. So like she opened the door and there was like a kiddie pool full of cocaine and money. And she was like, "Oh shit! Repossessed is here. Let's do it." But just think, guys, this movie came out a month after Exorcist III. So there was a time in American history where you could have a double feature of Exorcist III and Repossessed in the theaters at the same damn time. That would have been freaking amazing.
Wouldn't it have? We could still do that. We could still
I
do
wanna
it,
do
Charles.
that. How do we get this? And I really want this to be released on a Blu-ray. It's
And
never
we
been
need
released
Linda
on-
Blair to introduce it.
Oh,
And
no,
if we-
not
if
only
we
introduce
could-
it, she needs to reenact her character from Repossessed. Not from The Exorcist, Repossessed. How do you explain Pee Wee Herman?
Oh, that's a good flick, though, man. It's fun. It's fun.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. You know, it's a great movie. I love watching it.
I
gotta
love
throw some of
seeing the
those
horror
parodies
genre get made fun of. I think it's hilarious to me. I've always thought it was. You know, you got Scary Movie. There were so many. What is the body? Student Body.
Mm.
I like that movie. I know it's very dated, but I just like any movie that can parody a horror film well.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of movies do that quite well. I mean, you have to figure, even like Cabin in the Woods is almost like a parody film too, like a really good one. You know, it's
Right.
They're great ones. But like what we do in the shadows is another fun one. That's a great parody movie. It's just, yeah. I'm down.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next one, Charles, because we are getting down to the wire. We've got 5 movies left.
Guys, we somehow have gone through like more movies in an hour and a half than we normally do. Like,
yeah, we're rushing it along. We definitely are.
This is we got a great one though, guys. All right, so for reasons unknown, the recently deceased are rising from the grave and seeking human victims. Released October 19th, 1990, just in time for Halloween. It is the American horror remake of Night of the Living Dead, directed by the one and only Tom Savini. What a fantastic film. One of the best remakes ever in the history of man.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Charles.
Definitely helped that Romero rewrote his own screenplay for the remake. So it's like he didn't want to direct it, but Tom Savini is such a great director, and I'm so sad that we haven't got more Tom Savini directed films. I know he's busy. He runs his effects studios and stuff, but man, what a great director. He seems like I was always dialed in with that horror genre, you know?
Yeah. I put Night of the Living Dead right up there with The Thing as one of the best horror remakes ever made. And I think
I'll agree with you.
And usually you hate seeing something classic like Night of the Living Dead remade, but they actually were able to improve upon it without changing it too much, you know? They improved on the special effects, the acting, production value, everything was improved in this film. And
yeah.
I would have thought that impossible for Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, I agree, you know, and Patricia Tallman in this is so fantastic, like developing this female hero in this, you know, really just a fantastic character, which you didn't see a lot in horror films. This female-driven hero, not like a dumb girl running around. She was a fantastic woman in this, very strong woman, and the way Romero rewrote this was really very tiny rewrites, but definitely brought it to the times, you know, brought it to this 1990 year, and I love this movie. Love this movie a lot.
Yeah.
I probably way more than I should. I have like a deep feeling for this movie. Like it makes me want to be a better person when I wake up in the mornings. That's how it is.
Well, it is a fantastic movie. Let's watch the trailer for this one and see what we think afterwards.
Let's go.
They came to pay their respects.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Why do you have to be so cruel?
What?
Show some respect.
Now they're running for their lives.
A biologist in Stockton, California have released reports focusing on the phenomenon, specifically on that trance-like state.
Every shelter is becoming a trap.
Are you sure we're gonna be all right?
Cooper, you gotta help me out!
And every road out.
Don't stop no matter what happens.
Is just another dead end.
They're coming right for us!
George Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
Ooh, scary. Night of the Living Dead, 1990.
Boogans.
It was great. It was good seeing Tom in the director's chair for that movie. So always, and this is a very rewatchable movie too. You know, it's something you can rewatch over and over again.
I watch this at least once a month. That's no joke. At least once a month I have this on and I'm watching it. I've probably seen this movie at least 100 times. It's not even an exaggeration. It's great.
Well, it's a good one. It's worthy of several rewatches.
Just like you, Loyd. Just like you.
Thank you, Charles. So
You're
I'm
welcome,
next,
baby.
right?
You're next, baby. It's all you. Do it.
All right. Here's one for Mr. 80s 1224. He's been asking about this one. Deadly
All right, Mr. 80s.
accidents start occurring at an old textile mill, but the corrupt foreman continues to put his coworkers in danger until they discover a horrifying secret deep in the basement. Released October 26th, 1990, it is the American horror film Graveyard Shift, directed by Ralph S. Singleton, based on the 1970 short story of the same name by Stephen King.
Ooh.
Graveyard Shift, everybody.
Shift, Lloyd.
What
do you think, Lloyd?
Well, I like this movie. We just talked to one of the actors, Stephen Mock, from this movie. It's also got Brad Dourif. So
it's a good year for Dourif, you know? Dourif was in a few things this year. It's like our third movie with him.
He made some money that year.
Actually, yeah. This will be our... I think he did 4 this year. We're going to do another one of his soon, so...
Oh, yeah. I say we go ahead and show the trailer on this one, too. Let's do it.
Let's roll the trailer, yeah. That's the best way.
Stephen King invites you to venture deep inside the caverns below the old Bachman Mill.
You're not thinking about going down in there?
Where a secret lies long forgotten by any living soul.
Just ain't no job worth this.
The workers suspected.
You can't put me down there. You can't put anybody down there. I know things.
The owner denies it.
What did happen to the fellow that started this job?
It didn't work out.
And everyone fears it.
This place is infested. That might be the understatement of the year.
Broken? Because one by one, it will devour them all.
We're like shrimp in an all-you-can-eat salad bar, and that thing ain't stopping till it's full.
Must be some other way out of here.
It's blocked!
This isn't real.
This is the new horror from the mind of Stephen King. Graveyard Shift.
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
Stephen King's going to scare the hell out of us.
I'm going to scare the hell out of you, Lloyd.
Stephen King's always scaring the hell out of us. He's pretty scary.
Does he give you the boogans?
Yeah, he makes me scared of giant rats and talking lamps and evil clowns.
Me too. He makes me spookies all night.
So Graveyard Shift, there we go. Another short story by Stephen King that was stretched out into a 90-minute movie.
Yeah, basically. I mean, Ralph Singleton really did a great job at building this eerie atmosphere in this movie. I always liked, the dark gothic feel that it had to it. It had this really grungy cinematography too. Peter Stein was a cinematographer on this.
Uh-oh, that fell right off.
Anyway, Peter Stein is well known. Peter Stein did a lot of horror in the 80s. Pet Sematary, Chud, Friday the 13th Part 2. He was cinematographer on all those. Great cinematographer. Really meshed really well. This was the only movie Ralph Singleton directed, so don't know much around why he didn't direct more. It may have been that this sort of tanked at the box office, maybe kind of tied him off a little bit, but
yeah.
But again, Dourif is great in this. This is a great year for Dourif, and this is a good example of it,
Yeah, and Stephen Mock was fantastic in it, as we've already discussed, and
his main accent's so great.
But this was another one of those movies that at the time I just didn't really care for, and it's kind of grown on me over the years.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely a good one, guys. If you haven't seen it, give it a watch. Graveyard Shift is there's a Shout Factory blurry out. It's a little pricey. It's like $27. The only place I found it streaming is DirecTV. If you have DirecTV, you're in luck. But you can rent it for $4 on Amazon, Apple TV, or Vudu as well if you're in the mood for it.
There you go.
Let me jump up to this next one here. Mourning his dead child. A haunted Vietnam War veteran attempts to uncover his past while suffering from a severe case of dissociation. It was released November 2nd, 1990. It's the American horror film Jacob's Ladder, directed by Adrian Lyne. Jacob's Ladder, Lloyd.
Very serious movie that I think was kind of a groundbreaker.
Okay.
What do you think?
You like it? You like it?
I love Jacob's Ladder. This
Was
is a
it,
cerebral horror film.
That's a good way to describe it. It really is a cerebral horror film. Tim Robbins is really great in this. This is very highly regarded. A lot of people love this movie. A lot of critics loved this movie. It's really well crafted. It's, the character Tim Robbins plays is super likable, and, he's just takes this role so well, and he really made this movie. The whole movie is like a bad dream almost. The visuals in it are great. I love the score in this movie. And this is one movie I think is better the second time you watch it, because the first time there's a lot going on. I think the second time you watch this, you have an ideal of things and you start looking for things. So that's just my dos pesos, okay?
There's a lot of things to remember this film for, but it seems like it was one of the early films to use that visual camera effect of somebody shaking their head really fast. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I always think of this film when I think of that effect. And you see it a lot now. Not so much, here in the last couple of years, but after this movie, it seemed like you saw it a lot.
You did see that effect in the 90s a lot. It became kind of a staple with a lot of psychological thrillers throughout the early 90s.
Definitely.
We got a trailer for this one. You want to roll the trailer?
Let's do it. Here we go. What happened, Charles? Oh my God, we went black for a long time.
We are so amazing that sometimes the internet is not able to contain us and or stabilize itself with our awesomeness being in the same area.
Yeah. Well, back to Jacob's Ladder. This movie is a trippy mind F kind of a movie, so... for those that haven't seen it, I do recommend it. I haven't seen it in years, though, so I don't know how well it stands up.
No, I watched it recently. It's still a lot of fun. It can be a little tough watch for some people, but Lionsgate does have a Blu-ray out for like $9 you can grab on Amazon. It's definitely worth a watch. I believe when I looked, it is streaming on Cinemax. So if you have Cinemax, you're in luck. You can watch Jacob's Ladder tonight on your Cinemax before you watch your Skinemax softcore pornography at 11 p.m. So
sweet.
Yep.
Perfect. So that's a good place. Go watch it. Highly recommended.
Do it, man. All right. I think you're next, or is it me? No, it's you. Oh, nobody's ever seen this one. This is a weird one nobody's ever seen.
It's a weird flick. Very, very not well seen. A young boy's mother is admitted to a psychiatric hospital, and he is placed in foster care. Don't worry, though. His friend to the end isn't far behind. Released November 9th, 1990. This is the American slasher film, Child's Play 2. Get back, Jack. Chucky's back.
Hi, Andy. Andy. Chucky's here, and he's trying to kill me. Help. Help, Chucky. I gotta go tinkle.
So Child's Play 2, there we go. It's a good sequel, I think. Very well done. Did you like it better than the original, or?
Oh no, not at all. The original is an amazing triumph to force that moved my innards to like a side somewhere they shouldn't be. But this one is a fun watch. I think it's actually a really well done sequel. I think it was a very difficult task to come up with a screenplay that made sense from Child's Play that still incorporated Andy. And this was very well done. Like, putting the mindset that his mom went absolutely batshit crazy, which she probably would have done anyway. And because, children are a little more, rebounding with that kind of stuff. And now he's in foster care, and this totally makes sense. And his friend to the end is there to help him get through this time and need,
Yep. Jenny Agutter, it has been mentioned. A couple of people mentioned that she's in this and that we should get Jenny Agutter. I have tried
Jenny
to
Agutter?
get...
She's beautiful. I love Jenny Agutter.
Yeah, I've tried to get Jenny in the past. I guess she's just not interested. I think a lot of people have tried to bring Jenny Agutter into shows, and it's just never worked out.
I think what's funny is she popped up in the first Avengers movie, 2012. She was doing a scene, and I was like, what the hell is she doing here? She's like, hi, everybody. I'm Jenny, and I'm here to be in this movie. That's it.
Well, she would be a great guest.
Very much.
Maybe one day, you never know.
Maybe one day, maybe she'll get bored and decide that she wants to come hang out with us because we're pretty awesome people. So
that's right. Well, let's watch the trailer to this one and see what we think.
Let's do it.
Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back.
Child's Play 2. It's playtime. Again.
I do like this one though, because now do I remember right? Is this the one where he comes back and he's kind of beat up from the last movie? Or was he not?
Yeah.
There's so many of them, man. They're just kind of running together. But I thought it was
off the top of my head. It was 2 years. It was 2 or 3 years after.
But
I remember. They find him all beat up.
I was happy that they brought Alex Vincent back.
Yeah, I was happy they brought Alex Vincent back too for this. And it's like if it starts off, they find him and he's all like beat up and crapped up or whatever, and then they like try to put him back together for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I haven't watched Child's Play 2 in a while, but I'll say I did watch it like 6 months ago, but it was on a streaming channel and it was like 20 minutes in. So I don't remember how the first 20 minutes are because I was like, Child's Play 2. And that was the first time I'd seen it in like 5 years, but I always remember I liked this one. I mean, it's a great continuation of the first one. Always great watch. The cast is really great in it too, like we were saying. It's fun. Child's Play 3 is a different story that we'll get into later. But
well, Christina Elise is in this one. I've always liked her in just about everything I've seen her in.
She was a great guest.
Yeah, she was a great guest. I liked her in Child's Play 2, and I really liked her in The Body Snatchers. She's always just been kind of a badass,
Yeah. Yeah, she's had a pretty stable acting career. She's popped up in a lot of stuff. Even recently, I know she was on. Of course, she was in 90210 back in the day, but she popped up on the remake for that. Lots of made-for-TV stuff. So it's fun, man. I enjoy this. It's definitely on my list. I could go back and rewatch maybe 2 and maybe 3. I watched the first Child's Play a lot. That's kind of on my repertoire of movies that are always going in the office, stuff you don't always have on. The Child's Play is one of those, but not the second or third one. So,
well, all right, Child's Play 2, thumbs up sequel.
Very much
Charles,
on that one.
You've got something iconic coming up.
Let me dust myself off here. All right, 17 outcasts fight an evil demon wind. Sorry. 17 outcasts fight an evil demon who poses as a child-killing clown. Anybody know what this one is? Have you ever heard of this one? 30 years later, they reunite to stop the demon once again. And no, it's not a demon wind, guys. First aired November 18th, 1990. It is the psychological horror miniseries It, directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. Adapted, of course, from the Stephen King 1986 novel of the same name. Back when made-for-TV movies were freaking amazing, like this.
Yep. Of course, everybody loves Tim. So
Got Tim right here. Here's my
Tim
Tim Curry.
There you go.
Beside
Everybody
my
loves Tim. This is an iconic role for him. Right?
Yeah, he is. He is super iconic, and I don't know anybody who could have done this at the time but Tim Curry. You know, he is the man. I love him. I love him so much. So happy I got to spend time with him, hang out with him, talk to him for quite a long time. One of the best things that ever happened to me. This movie, though, is seared into my brain as a child. You know, I remember it terrifying the shit out of me. And it's not that gory, and it's nothing. It's just absolutely terrifying how Tim Curry plays this clown who's basically nice, but also freaking creepy at the same time. It's mesmerizing.
Yeah, when he has the teeth in, man, that's what freaks me out.
Yeah. So well done. I mean, it is. You can watch it now and you can say, okay, this was made for TV. It has that 90s made for TV feel. You know, it's like most of those 90s movies had that same feel, but it's so well done. It holds up so well. Tommy Lee Wallace is a great director. This was the golden age of made for TV horror.
Yep. All right, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and play the trailer for It 1990. Ooh, it's on video cassette now, Charles. We can get.
Yeah, it's coming soon on video cassette. I actually have 3 copies of it. It's no joke.
Yeah,
I can see 3 copies of it in my drawer over there. But yeah, it's a great movie. You know, what can we say about it? You know, let's say tips our hats to Tim Curry, and we'll jump on to the next one, guys.
Let's do it. What's next, Charles?
Well, that's you, buddy.
All right, here we go. The puppets return and hunt paranormal researchers in an attempt to take their brain fluid for their master, and Andre Toulon. First released in the UK November 28th, 1990, this is the American direct-to-video horror film Puppet Master 2, directed by Dave Allen.
Oh my, Lloyd.
Oh my.
I like the way you said that.
Oh my, it's Puppet Master 2.
Master 2. You know, Dave Allen was not really known for being a director, but he was one of the best stop-motion animators like ever. So interesting always seeing him direct. He's actually a pretty good director. So like I said, yeah, he was stop-motion. So for people who don't know, or anybody who doesn't know, stop-motion is basically when you move objects, you manipulate them to look like they're moving very slowly, like this. Yeah. That's stop motion, Charles.
Awesome.
But Dave Allen did stop motion for The Hunger, Twilight Zone the movie, Ghostbusters 2, The Howling, I think. I know he worked on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Great guy. Of course, he did stop motion for Puppet Master movies too, 1 and 2. He's actually a pretty good director. I think this is an okay sequel. I actually really like the third sequel, which we'll cover in another year. But I think this is a pretty fun continuation. It's full moon. The movies are just meant to be fun. They really are fun. The puppets are so fantastic in it.
Yeah. This movie is kind of, I mean, I don't want to say it put Charles Bandh on the map, because Charles Bandh had been on the map. But I don't know, is Puppet Master, maybe I'm trying to say it's his legacy. What about that?
He was really well known, but yeah, the first Puppet Master really put them on a more visual level with a lot of people who didn't watch the earlier Charles Bandh stuff. It was very niche. Puppet Master was very marketable, and Puppet Master 2, 3, 4, 7, 36, Puppet Master 97 in space. People know Puppet Master. It's one of those things where you may say Charles Bandh, and people are like, I don't know who the hell Charles Bandh is. You say, well, Puppet Master. They're like, oh shit, Puppet Master.
Yeah.
The guy goes, yeah, Puppet Master. They're
Everybody
like, oh, cool.
knows Puppet Master, and it has just such a huge legion of very devoted fans. Puppet Master does.
It does. And I'll say I'm quite a big fan of Puppet Master. I try to watch the first 3 at least once a year. I watch them weird times. For some reason, I always watch them in January. Don't ask me why, but it's always my January movies. I watch the first 3.
Interesting.
But I enjoy them. They're fun. The third one's really good too. We'll get to that one a different year, like I said. But it's a fun watch.
Mr. 80s asked, have you both seen the Corey Feldman one? It's crazy. It's worth watching. I haven't. Which one is that?
I don't think I have either.
Corey Feldman was in a Puppet Master?
Which one was he in?
I don't know. Tell us, Mr. 80s.
I'd love to know. I haven't seen any of the newer Puppet Masters, guys. I'll admit that. I've seen the first 3. Like I said, I watch the first 3 every year. I haven't watched any of them after that. I know there's more. Well, I take that back. I did watch Little Reich. Was fun. I take that back because that one was on. But there was a few that were kind of spattered in between. I don't think I've watched.
Ali Tapa just said that she went to a Charles Bandh road show once when he was on tour a while back. He took my name and my friend's name and combined it and put it in the credits of his next film, but I never knew what film. Yep, that's Charlie.
It sounds like Charlie.
Maybe we can look you up on IMDb and figure you out.
We'll find
out
it.
where you're at.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Well, Puppet Master 2. There you go. We have a trailer. Have we watched it yet?
No, let's roll it.
Let's do it.
First, they made you smile. And then they made you die. Blade, Pinhead, Jester, Leech Woman, and Tunneler. Now the show has begun again. And this time, their master is back from beyond the grave.
You brought me back.
And Andre Toulon is proud to present the newest addition to his terrifying troupe.
You may think you got the powers of hell on your side.
Torch. They thought they could unlock Toulon's secrets.
It's amazing.
But what these researchers have opened,
no one can escape.
We're all in danger as long as we remain in this house.
Is a Pandora's box of death.
Our work must be completed tonight. No more ghostly games, trick or treat.
Puppet Master 2. his unholy creations hold the strings to your life.
I know how to get into things.
All right. So Mr. 80s
What
also
is
told
up?
us, he said it's called Puppet Master versus Demonic Dolls. Thank you for
Nice.
telling me that. I haven't seen that one, so I'll try
You
to
know,
check it out soon.
I haven't either, and I'm gonna throw it down as a watch I need to do.
Yep,
I'll
me
do
too.
that.
Thank you for the recommendation, Mr. 80s.
Yeah, man, we love you guys' recommendations. Throw them at us.
Definitely. All right, Charles, we are on
guys.
the last one. We've gotten through 25 movies very quickly tonight.
We've gotten through 25 movies in the same times it normally takes us to do 15. So that either means we're getting better or worse at this. I don't know which one.
One of them, either one.
Either one. It could be all the beer I've had, though. It's helping me motivate.
There you go.
But the next one is one of my favorites. And surprised me that it's technically not considered a horror movie on a lot of the horror lists I pull, which I don't know why.
That was the trend during the 90s. I remember that being the trend of people going, it's not really a horror movie, though. You know, the directors and producers would pull that.
Let me read it, introduce it, and I want to hear from our peeps if they think this is a horror movie, if this should be on the list or not. All right, so guys, let me know if this one should be on the list, because I added it. After a famous author is rescued from a car crash by a fan, the care he receives is just the beginning of a nightmare of captivity and abuse. Released November 30th, 1990. It's the American psychological thriller Misery, directed by Rob Reiner and based on Stephen King's 1987 novel of the same name. If you guys haven't noticed yet, every movie released in 1990 was based on a Stephen King novel or short story of the same name. Everything.
Just about.
Every movie. I think Misery is a horror movie. It's very terrifying, you know, and it was actually the first and foremost in my head when I started looking through movies. It was like on none of the 1990 horror movie lists. And I was like, why the hell is Misery not in here?
Yeah.
So do you guys think Misery is a horror movie?
IMDb only calls it a drama/thriller. And in my opinion, yes, it is a horror movie. I read the book before I saw the movie, and it was pretty faithful to the book. That's what I really liked about it.
Yeah, I absolutely love this. I think it's a terrifying movie. Yeah, it's a dramatic thriller, but it's a horror movie. I mean, Annie Wilkes is forever in our minds as a horror character. She is a horror character. I mean, when I think of horror female characters, I think of Annie Wilkes, you know, coming at people with that sledgehammer. And Loyd knows that because I sometimes appear in his house at night with a sledgehammer. I tie him to the bed, and I'm like, what are you doing, Loyd? This is for both of us. You have to do our show.
Yeah. You know, and I'm going to tell you guys something. It's kind of embarrassing now to think about it, but when I read the book Misery, the actress that I kept in mind playing Annie Wilkes was Anne Ramsey.
Hey, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That was the person I had in mind the entire movie. I think she would have played a great Annie Wilkes.
I think she would have been great because she would have been just like the Goonies. She would have been the same character. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You like tongue? We only serve tongue.
Misery was a very well-made movie. A lot of people don't realize it was directed by Rob Reiner, who played Meathead on All in the Family.
Look, me and Rob Reiner are still in a fight, all right? I've never got over me and Rob Reiner's incident together, all right? So,
is that the time you met him at the USA Film Festival?
The time I met him and I was the only person there and he ignored me. And I was trying to talk to him and he just walked by me. And I was like, that's what I did to him. And I walked away.
Screw you,
I said
Rob Reiner.
Yeah, I was like, screw you, meathead. You son of a bitch. Come sign my Princess Bride poster. That's pretty much how it went.
Oh, well.
Then there was the police, and the police got called, and it was, it was a long incident.
I'm sure they did.
No, I mean, really, yeah, it's great. And The screenplay was adapted, by the one and only William Goldman, who Reiner worked with on Princess Bride. So, we've got a great guy adapting the screenplay. Kathy Bates won an Oscar for it. It's funny because James Caan wasn't anywhere near the choice for the role he had. They went through like a bunch of other people. They wanted Michael Douglas, Harrison Ford, Al Pacino, Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Redford. They all turned it down. And finally, James Caan. They went to James Caan because somebody recommended him, and he took the role. And I don't know. I love him in this movie.
Yeah. Great film. Definitely a great movie from 1990. Guys, that is the last movie. We're going to roll honorable mentions here in just a moment. But 1990, man, it started with a bang. I thought the 90s sucked for horror movies, Charles. What is this? Is this just leftover from the 80s?
This is like a tease, because wait till we get to 91, 92, 93, 94, and 95. It's like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
90 was a great year, though. We're going to roll our honorable mentions, and then I'm going to give away a copy of The Evil Dead on Blu-ray. For anybody who wants a copy of Evil Dead
on Blu-ray. That sounds awesome.
I'm wondering if Ali, have you got your copy of Child's Play yet? Because me and Lloyd did a number on that Child's Play disc for you.
Okay, we'll find out after the honorable mention reel. Let's roll it.
You want me to murder you?
What do you mean? What do you think I'm kidding?
Call evil by its proper name. Mr. Frost. Basket Case 2.
He wants to grant you an interview. A personal interview. His very first. He's all excited.
This time, he's not alone.
Norman!
A boy's best friend is his mother.
Roger Corman's Frankenstein, Unbound, starring John Hurt, Raul Julia, and Bridget Fonda, directed by Roger Corman.
Made of steel, forged in hell. No one is safe from the wheels of death. Beware, the vampire motorcycle could be right up your street.
She's such a lethal machine. She runs on blood instead of gasoline.
You can't go on killing forever.
You wanna bet?
The first power.
America Online makes planning your summer easier than ever.
Vacations, movies, concerts, and more.
This summer, keep in touch with email, instant messages, a buddy list. America Online, so easy to use, no wonder it's #1. Sign up today.
Is there anyone out there still unsure what happens when you don't watch horror movies? Okay, I'm going to show you guys. This is your brain. This is something other than horror movies. This is your brain when you watch something other than horror movies. Any questions?
Get ready for hardware.
Danny Glover, Gary Busey, Ruben Blades, Maria Conchita Alonso, Bill Paxton. Predator 2. He's in town with a few days to kill this Thanksgiving.
And Shockma. Shocking audiences everywhere.
Thought he was kind of cute.
I'm back! Yo, check this out, check this out, check this out.
Rockula, the love story that rocks like a bat out of hell. Rockula.
Does anybody go bowling anymore?
Flatline!
Flatliners. Some lines shouldn't be crossed.
Wow, so much awesome in that clip, Charles.
Yeah,
that was hilarious. I loved it. Somebody, Chrissy said, please upload the Brain trailer or commercial.
It's your brain.
You've got to do it. You've got to upload it separately. You know, 1990 was an epic year. It's amazing how epic it was.
It's the best year of the 90s, guys. Just so you guys know, it's all downhill from here. So,
Flatliners was great. I've never seen
good movies.
The Vampire Motorcycle.
Oh, please
never
watch
even heard of that. I need to.
Vampire Motorcycle. You need that in your life. My God, anybody who has not seen Vampire Motorcycle, you've missed out on so many things in your life. Like really, like that one, I really wanted on our list, guys. We already had so many movies, and I was really upset. I was like, God, I need to put. I bought a Vampire Motorcycle on, and it got kicked.
I think you've proven that 1990 was one of the best years for horror movies. If anybody has any doubts after watching this, you need to watch this again. Vampire Motorcycle is now on my list.
There's a Blu-ray. There's a Blu-ray out for like $10.
Oh, is there?
Vampire. I have it.
So there's another movie, if you haven't seen it, that came out in 2007 that reminds me of, called Blood Car.
Blood Car, yes.
I love Blood Car. So,
but I'm going to recommend everybody off our honorable mentions list, find or get yourself Vampire Motorcycle, because it's not in your life. You're missing so many things.
Yep.
Now, first,
people are bringing up movies that didn't make the list, like Darkman. Not sure you could call it a horror movie. It's more
I don't call it a horror movie.
Yeah.
I love Darkman, but
I do love Darkman, but yeah, I don't.
Some people do. Some people call it like a superhero horror flick. I fall more like on the sci-fi action side, but if you guys think it should be on the list, I mean, yeah, I love Darkman. I agree with you guys. Darkman is freaking great. So
it is.
No pun intended, not to include it. It's a great movie.
Definitely. All right, so before we wrap up tonight, this has been a fun show. Thanks for coming in. But before we wrap up, I want to mention that this Saturday we've got Ed Neal as our interview at 2 p.m. Central Time. That's Ed Neal, the hitchhiker from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's coming on to talk about all things Ed Neal, including Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but he's also going to talk about our screening, our drive-in screening that we're doing. We coupled up with Car Barre to do this drive-in screening of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're going to have vendors out there. There may be a band, and Ed Neal's going to be there doing meet and greets, signing, doing photographs with you guys. So we can have a little bit of a Frightmare-like existence during the Corona with an event like this. I'm very excited about it. I hope as many of you can come out as possible.
Yes. Loyd and I will be there as too, and we'll probably go live there at some point during the event. Looking forward to everybody there. It's going to be awesome. We're looking forward to that. Loyd got that set up, so it's going to be cool.
Yes,
sir. So excited, Loyd.
And then Saturday night,
We're gonna give away this too. Evil
Go
Dead
for
on
it.
Blu-ray.
it.
Whoever wants it though. What do you give me a question?
Good show. Very important PSA.
Richard Nettleson tipped us $5 and said, "Good show, very important PSA." Thank you, Richard. We appreciate the tip.
Oh, it's very important PSA. Evil Dead, guys. I'm gonna give away a copy of Evil Dead. So I don't know. Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me one movie that was on our 1989 year in horror. We're gonna go all the way back.
One movie from 1989.
The year in horror show that we did.
I'm watching. I'm looking. Todd Lewis wants to know what Nightmare on Elm Street. We're going to talk about that in just a second. JRE says Child's Play.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. What did you say? You cut out.
JRE said Child's Play.
Child's Play was 88, not 89. Sorry.
Travis is up next. He said Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
Dream Child. Yep, that's right.
Tyler Burrows did say Beyond Reanimator. Travis, you win a lot, buddy. I think we're
going to give it to Tyler. I think we're going to
give it to Tyler. We love you, Travis, but you win a lot, so we're going to pick somebody new this time.
What did he say, though?
He said Bride of Reanimator.
That's kind of a... Bride of Reanimator is technically 89, so yeah, I'll give that one. It's a weird one that's also credited as a 90 release. But
yes, you're right.
But you know what? I'm going to give this to Tyler Burrows. You're going to get a copy of Evil Dead. All right?
Boom. There you go.
Now, I'm just going to send this to you. I can draw penises on it like Ollie wants if you want to. I'm more than happy to do that.
Okay. Well, I think that's it, Charles. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we head out of here?
So, yeah, the only other thing we're doing is for our Patreons, we're going to watch Nightmare on Elm Street on Friday, October 23rd. So if you're a Patreon, I think there's 4 seats left for that. And there's a registration page on the Patreon page. So basically we're just going to get together and watch Nightmare on Elm Street at Cinemark in Dallas in theaters, which should be fun.
Awesome. That's going to be exciting. So we got 2 screenings this month.
We
one
do.
drive-in, kind of a mini Frightmare show, and then one exclusive Patreon screening. So you have to be a Patreon to be eligible. And we can only seat up to how many, Charles?
Yeah, we can only seat up to like 20 max. So I think we have 4 seats that are left. Everybody else is registered for the other seats.
Yeah. So we have 4 seats left. If you want to go to that, get in on it quick, or it's going to be over. You'll miss out.
It's going to be over. And that's another private watch party, so it's just us in the theater. So
awesome. All right, my friends. Saturday night watch party. Tell us again. I forget. Who do we have? It's a new watcher, right?
Yeah, we've got Kolchak based out of Great Britain.
Kolchak and Tara.
And Tara in the UK, and I'm not sure what they want to watch yet. Haven't heard from them, so we'll check on that, guys. But there will be a Twitch Prime watch party at 7 o'clock Central Time on Saturday. Even if I have to join and show Lawrence of Arabia, I'll be on doing it. So don't worry.
Sweet. All right, guys.
I really wish we could show Vampire Motorcycle. That'd be so amazing, but it's not for streaming.
That would be awesome.
Or Shockma. Shockma!
Todd, I hope you can make it to the Chainsaw Pop-Up Drive-In. If you guys go to our Facebook page, there's a link there. You can get in. I think there's like an event that Carburet created on Facebook as well, so if you want more info. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We had a fantastic time. It was a lot of fun. I was enlightened about how great 1990 was for horror movies. And I had a good time hanging out with you guys.
And yeah, I love everybody. Thank you guys for joining us. Tyler Burrows, make sure you shoot us over your address so I can get it get this over to you. If you have Facebook, send it to us in private message. If not, you can just message me or email me at charlesdoes@frightmarehq.com, and it'll come over to me.
And before we go, Todd says, I should be healed up by then. What happened? What is going on?
What's wrong, Todd?
Yeah,
what
you
is
got to
wrong?
tell us. I hope you're okay.
We love you, Todd. Where are you?
That's right. Well, we'll find out from Todd later. Let's just, we'll go ahead and wrap up the show, guys. Thank you for joining us. We had a great time. Peace out.
Yep.
See you soon. Good night.
Bye, guys. Love you guys.